Right guys, I'm just going to show you how I self-level this bathroom floor. It's quite common, this floor down here has a big dip in the middle of it and it's quite far out on the rake that way. So when I'm going to self-level something, the first thing I do is the previous night is go around and fill any screws up, these are for the backerboard, around the edges, to just make sure that when it's self-leveled, because this is upstairs, that nothing's going to go downstairs and through the ceiling. So make sure you get everything, any holes filled up, any gaps filled up, so no latex or self-leveling, if you like, can escape. And then the next thing to do is to find your highest point. So this here is my highest point on the floor. So to find that, you just go around with a level around the room, and you can clearly see on the bubble which way the bubble is going. So once I've found my highest point, so which is by this door here, then I'll get some backerboard. So you can get backerboard in various different sizes. This is a 6mm, and what I've done already at the back here is I've put 10mm backerboard down. So I put my level on my highest point to the backerboard. I just use tile adhesive to build it up to level, and now my level reads true. So you can see there the level is level from that piece of backerboard that I put at the back of the room there, which I've just stuck down with tile adhesive, and now you can see I have a big gap under my level going to nothing, the highest point. So now I know how far my floor needs to come up, level on my highest point, and that's there. So now I can go round. When you self-level, it's good to have some guides to know how much self-leveling to put down. So I've cut up some 6mm backerboard here. And what I'll do with tile adhesive again is with my level, I can start to gauge where I can put that. So yeah, once that's got adhesive on, that'll be good. So in this spot here, I'll draw a circle around it, and I'll just load it up with tile adhesive because this sticks very well. And I'll just put it on and put the level on it. And I'll squidge it down until the level reads true. So you can see here that goes from the 10mm that I've stuck to the back and to this new piece of 6mm here, and my level is reading true. And that should be the same, that it should go from my highest point now to that 6mm packer, should also read true, as you can see here. So now we can just work around this area and put our packers down, so we've got a gauge for when we self-level. So we know if it's below our packer, then we know we need more. If it's above it, we know we've got too much, we can spread it out a bit. So I'm just going to go around now and put a couple down just as guides. But on this particular floor, which is quite common, this whole back side is high and this is what falls off, so it's mainly going to be self-leveling around there. So to make sure that you don't self-level on your high parts of your floor with your pen, you want to put your level so it's level, and you can see now on the level the gap. So I can draw here that this with an X, no self-leveling, and I can go around from my points, and you can see here I don't want any self-leveling here, so you can start to go from your highest point around the room to where the level reads level, so I don't want anything here, and so on. And then you'll start to build up a line where you don't want any self-leveling, so then we know that when we do self-level, this will be to nothing and it will be flowing this way. So yeah, it's important that we don't make our high point any higher, so we'll make sure this is really literally just on right on the deck here. And this is just normal flexible tile adhesive, but like I say, it's 6mm. I can put a piece on the backerboard. And again, the more you put down, the more you can use them for your next piece. So I can put a piece there, put my level on it until it's level. Perfect. And then that's another guide there. So I'm just going to put a couple more down. Again, that bit I put through, and this bit of backboard back here, once I levelled it from my level point to there, I just put a strip down with adhesive underneath and just pushed it till it was all level going across. So I can use this at any point to come off of because I know it's level. So I've put my 6mm piece of backboard there, I'm just going to push it all the way down until the level reads true. There we go. And I've got another marker there because the floor starts to come up a bit there. So I'm using 10mm over there where it's the worst part of the floor, and where the floor starts to come up, like here, I'm just using a 6mm because a 10mm would be too much. So yeah, these are our guides. And like I say, once we have them down, we can just put a level on one, come off and see where we need to put our next one. Like I can just about get one in. Let's move this so you can see it over this side here. If I put one here with minimal adhesive on, just about get it in. I might have to come back a little bit into the dip. It's probably about 4mm difference. Yeah, that's perfect. So I can put that in there. I can write it on there so I remember. I've been doing it at a different point. And then I'm just going to put minimal adhesive on this, but it's still pushed down. We still make it actually hit the floor. Give it a good push. Put our level on it. Push down until she's level, and there we go. So at the moment we've got 1, 2, we've got one over here, 3, 4, and we've got our back guides. Probably just put one more over this side of the room, and then that gives us something to work to. We know we're going to nothing, so quite a lot over there, and we can work without our little guides there. So I'm just going to put one more on this right hand side, so I've kind of covered with my guides. Find a good place to put it. Probably end up being back here somewhere, yeah, somewhere around there, looks good. Find my pen, and I'll draw around it, so I know where it is. There we go. Now I'll just load it up. Level on it. Squidge down. There we go, and now that is level. So these are the hexagons here that are going onto the floor. So it just means that surface has to be dead flat with no dips because it's got 6 sides. It'd be really hard to get them nice and flat. Right, I'm just going to draw from my high point here so I know where not to spread through this part, so through there. Now I can just transfer this level off of this gauge. I don't want anything around here. Just keep moving the level until it reads level again. Nothing around this area here. That's level there, so right through here. We want no self-leveling whatsoever. And we can just put crosses there so we know. And now we have a line, or a squiggly line I should say, where the floor's obviously up and down. So yeah, we know round here it's going to go from nothing to filling up the rest of the floor. So I've got my level bit at the back, so I know I've just got to go to that, and that's all good. I've got my guides dotted around the room now, so now I can knock some self-leveling up and start chucking it in and filling it up, and we should have a nice flat floor. And like I say, I filled in all of these gaps where there was holes in the walls here, so no self-leveling, even behind these tiles it's all filled, so no self-leveling is going to run anywhere, and the screws for the backerboard here are all filled up. All the seams are all filled up with adhesive, just so the self-leveling won't run down and through the ceiling lights below me or anything like that. So it should all stay in this room. Fingers crossed, that should all be good. And today I'm going to be trying out the new Kerakoll Level Flex Fibre. This is the new one out, which is a fast setting. Even though it says fast setting, I think it's still about 2 or 3 hours before you can actually walk on it. So I'd call it more of a medium set. It can go up to 50mm. It's fibre reinforced and flexible. There we go, 3 hours before tiling. And we've got all our instructions on the back here of our mix and how much water, etc., and foot traffic. And this one is 4.5 to 5 litres a bag. I'd always make self-leveling a lot wetter, so I'll put 5 litres in because I want to make sure it really does run. So I can just pour 5 litres into my mixing bucket here. So I've got enough bucketfuls here, so I'll just fill up to 5 litres. And I've got my mixer ready, a little bit more. Good enough, right. And I won't use a roller for this one as the floor's so small. On a bigger floor I would, but I'm just going to have my hand trowel and I'm just going to use my serrated trowel here, notch trowel if you like, for using the flat side for just moving it about, and then hopefully let the self-leveling do what it needs to do. Start with about half a bag first, mix it up, then chuck the rest in as well. That's just so you make sure you get all the lumps and bumps in the bottom. Okay, I won't rev it too hard. It's quite wet, it's splashed all over the place. Now I'll just add the rest of the bag and I can give it a good old. Always just follow the directions on the bag, you're covered that way. Sometimes you have to leave it for 2 minutes and mix it again, just make sure whatever latex or self-leveling you use, just read through the instructions on the back. That's the best advice I can give you there. Right, that's getting there now. I'll just leave it for a minute and then I'll give it another mix and we should be good for the fun part. Okay, let's give it another spin. That's pretty good. I'll just check it with my trowel. You always get some bits around the side which you can get in. But yeah, I think that's quite a nice consistency now. This floor will probably take 2 bags, so I'll just chuck the first bag down, see where we're at, and then I can knock up another bag. And then it's a case of just pouring over it. There. Got 2 bumps in there, or rocks as I like to say, but I can just pat them down. There we go, and now we just move the latex, push it into the corners. Again, you can see here, I don't want to go over my board at the back. That's my barrier, it's level. Once it's had a move around like that, I can see now I'm going to need a lot more for another bag, so because I'm a lot lower on my bits here, it's going to start moving out as well, so I'm going to get the second bag knocked up quickly, but hopefully should be enough. And that should be good. Right, let's go all in and get the second bag knocked up. I just want to make sure I knock it up. If I, again, had a bigger room, I sometimes use a gorilla tub because you can get 2 bags in it, because you want to make sure you can still get your other bag of self-leveling to go into your last one before it starts turning. So I've just got to make sure, as I said earlier, not to go over my line that's high. So I'll be feathering away from that line back into what we've just done here. You can start up there. It's a bit tricky in a small room when you're working out the door, but just have to get over that. Moving it around, and I can really drag down my line there, so I make sure I don't build it up at all, and everything is just coming away from it. Now I'll just spread over one of my gauges right there, so I know I've got to get that down a bit there. looking good there. So I think the left hand side is kind of getting there, and I think once I put a lot more in this right hand side, we should be pretty good. We're looking pretty good there, so I just need to get where my feet are and where the camera is to finish up. And then I think that's going to be perfectly flat by the time it's said and done. And this self-leveling, it's the first time I've used this one. It seems actually to spread really nicely. It's actually moving around very well considering it's apparently a rapid set. So yeah, so far so good, but let's see what it's like once it's dry. And there we go, that's where I'm going to leave it there. All my guides are pretty much covered, either sitting on top of the guides or they're thereabouts. So the latex will still move around a bit now and do its own thing, but now I would just leave it there and check it tomorrow. But I'm pretty confident that that should be pretty level. Again, I've made sure I don't go over any of these lines where it's the high point of the floor. And yeah, the self-leveling does its job. It should all be nice and flat tomorrow for these hexagons. So I'll come back to you tomorrow and we'll see how she looks. Right, next day guys, just going around with the level now and seeing what she's like. It's all dry and you can see there, bubbles looking good on the level. And going through there, it's pretty good. Nothing too major considering how this floor was, so that we're going through nice and flat now. And that should be pretty consistent around the room. And again, you can see there that we are level. And across our back side here, you can see going from the door up to there, we're pretty level. Again, you get this slight little bit, a couple of mil underneath or a mil. Nothing too major, that'd be covered in tile adhesive. If you really wanted to go mad, you could go over and fill any other little bits again, but that's pretty flat and level now. So yeah, that worked out pretty well. Using the little guides just helps us direct how much self-leveling we need to put down. So yeah, just to recap, always fill any gaps and holes around the room. You can always use expanding foam, that would always help for expansion on a bigger floor as well. Make sure you prime any surface that isn't backerboard, if it's wood or concrete, etc. Make sure you put some primer on it first. And it's always a good idea to work your way out of the room, start furthest away and work out of the door when you're self-leveling, just so you don't self-level yourself into the room. And if you're doing big floors or even this or a small floor, it's good to have all your water and your self-leveling ready to go. Ideally, if you can have 2 buckets or 2 bags knocked up, because you're generally going to be adding to what you've poured down, then it's good to have them ready to go because you don't want to leave it too long before adding to another pour that you've already put on the floor. So great, I hope that helps guys. This floor should be all good for me now to lay these hexagon tiles, and I'm sure I'll make a video on that at some point of me tiling this little floor of hexagons. Take care guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.